Hi guys, welcome back. We are here to do your update for December 2020. I can't believe I'm saying this. Now, this has been a very unique year. A lot of what's going to come through is going to be very unique this month. I'm here to guide you through that process and into 2021 and beyond. This is a very comprehensive report, and this is a really large pivotal point for us collectively. So we're going to dig deep into your astrology charts. We've also got this video where you can stream forward, stream back, and actually link into what you need to listen to. But there are very important aspects inside this video that are going to help you through. So, you're really guided to listen to each section. It's deeply important for you, and it will be changing the collective for the whole of December 2021. Now, key dates are mentioned and key themes. Let's get into the energy. Grab a cuppa, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Okay, moving into this month, we already have Neptune and Pisces direct. Now, in shadow energy, it can take some time to kick up some speed. This is an energy that is quite slow moving. We're also having the conjunction point this month, as well as the energy of both Saturn and Jupiter moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, which is, it's what we've been waiting for moving into 2021. It has really taken a toll on us moving through. So many of us will be very grateful, but it is a transitional stage. You need to attempt to keep as grounded as possible through it. Conjunction points can be very positive. They can bring blessings to you. The day after the eclipse, we are also having Aries and Chiron stationary direct. So again, it will move quite quickly. We do need to pay attention to inside our zodiac signs where that links to, which I will mention. But bear in mind that energy, we will start within the next 1 to 2 weeks feel like we're more energetic. We did have Aries and Chiron retrograde. It was really pushing us down for 6, feeling very tired. A lot of us still were feeling tired last month, due to the fact that Aries and Chiron was still retrograde, to give us that time to really reflect. So it's really healthy that it is moving forward, especially moving into Christmas and New Year. It's going to put us in a better standpoint where we can deeply be in our emotional grounded energy to be able to see and perceive things. Also, with Neptune and Pisces going direct, it's going to be doing the same thing. And as we move into January 2021, we will have Uranus and Taurus going direct, where next year it will be making 3 squaring points to Saturn in Aquarius. Hi Virgo, we are here to do your report. Now, your eclipse energy is linking to the 4th house placement. Now, on the first day of the month, we do have Mercury entering Sagittarius. So your thoughts really will be linking in, moving into the 14th of the eclipse towards your home environment, your psychological foundation. This can be your security, your daily routine. It also can be where you feel like Cinderella. And that really came through for Leo. 4th house placement, it's testing, much to say the least. And you can have a lot of things that you're having to pull together. Now, keeping balance during that transit and trying to stay grounded can be incredibly difficult. Now, on the 5th, moving towards the eclipse, we do have Venus in Scorpio trining Neptune in Pisces. And this is a connection between, and it's funny, my throat went croaky, Mercury, 3rd house, still very similar to the energy of Gemini. And again, the 7th house of your marriages, contracts, partnerships. So, this can be a beautiful energy, but it's also where a lot of communication can be happening between your connections. Again, because we do have Neptune direct, it can be slow and gradually it's mending and healing, but as it moves towards mid-month, you can see some benefits. Now, on the 9th, we have the Sun in Sagittarius, squaring Neptune and Pisces. Now, what this can mean for you is between your energy and your perspective of what home is, what family is, what your routine is, you're putting all your energy into home energy. Again, it's Sun energy, so it's the efforts you're pouring into a situation. Now, it's squaring Neptune and Pisces, so again, it can be issues connected to marriages, contracts, partnerships. Again, with Sagittarius, it can be siblings. And trying to pull everything together. Again, we can't appease everyone, but there can be complications and integration needed. And it's almost like an emotional earthquake. So be gentle to yourself on the 9th. Now, on the 10th, the similar energy is coming through, where you're having the same subjects happen. Now on the 11th and 12th, be mindful of all the energy you're pouring into situations pertaining to the fourth house placement of home. You've got Mercury in that energy, you've got Sun in that energy. So your thoughts, your mind is all on tasks, and confusion can happen. So can frustration. You also have Mars trining Aries. Now it is connected to your 8th house placement. Now this can be shared resources, getting through, getting through most of these things. And around the time of the eclipse, we are having Aries and Chiron stationary. So again, that can be a contention point. It can be very frustrating. Trying to get the energy to do everything, spreading yourself like butter, and trying to pull maybe the finances in, tying up loose ends, connecting in. Money can come in this month. This also can be in the money side of the report, where I will connect in with it, but trying to get everything together, maybe even reflecting upon, again, wounds of the past. 8th house placement can be very much, not having those loved ones here that potentially you wish were here, and maybe they transcended over. And I do feel their energy is around you, supporting and loving you. Now we can look at the 15th. As I mentioned, Aries and Chiron will be direct, but it's stationary. So it can be inflammation on this day. We also do have a lot of 4th house placements, and again, a lot of responsibilities when it comes to romance, children, and luck, trying to pull it in. It's beautiful in a sense that we have both Venus entering Sagittarius, which does link to your 4th house. So, you will have the yin and yang, and there can be movement and growth. There can be a lot of conversational pieces about where you want to go, how you want things to be if you are in an interconnection. But also when it does come to siblings, heart chakra activation and communicating, because Venus in Sagittarius can link to both happiness and beauty and love, as well as marriages, contracts, partnerships, and Sagittarius Jupiter growth, and siblings with Sagittarian energy. Now, as I mentioned, the eclipse is the day before. So with the eclipse, we do have the Sun in Sagittarius and the Moon in Sagittarius. So both of them in a yin and yang are going to bring a conjunction point. Now, as I mentioned, your house placement is 4th house. So, your emotions versus the things you're doing may not be balancing, and something might come to arise during that process. You can also find that with the Sun conjunct Mercury, again, your thoughts and your emotions potentially, what you want to do and how you want to be, and maybe what you think people want you to be, can be coming up in a subject matter. We also have the Moon in conjunction Mercury, and it's at 18 degrees. So your emotions and your thoughts can be coming up, and it can be a little bit of a trigger worthy day. As long as we can keep grounded, I do have a chakra report inside of this video where it can give you guidance as to how to keep grounded. Now, the nodes in Gemini are in opposition to Sun, Moon, and Mercury. Now, this is linking to your work, your 10th house placement, your career, your achievements, what you've been working towards, as well as Sagittarius, the 4th house placement. So there can be, again, with the opposition point, it's like feeling like nothing's coming together. It can be deep tension, like volcanic activity. Let's just mention it that way. So with your emotions and the way you're seeing things, it can be belief systems and communication coming through. It can be cross wires. Also with your emotions and with your communication style, again, throat chakra can be coming up. And again, your thought processes and how to see different viewpoints. Now, Taurus is also making an aspect, and that's due to Uranus and Taurus being in retrograde pretty much until 2021, January the 1st. So with our spiritual belief systems, and again, Sagittarius can directly link to this area too, and finances, Taurus. So we have Lilith conjunct Uranus and Taurus. Now, for this section, let me look at your chart. It does link to the 9th house placement. So what 9th house directly can connect to is very Sagittarius energy. So it's religion, education, foreign countries, travel, purpose. It can be the way you see things, your belief systems, your spirituality. Maybe feeling inside of that, having to face a shadow of that. Again, when it does come to what we deem as safety, emotional security, it can be all those things we're facing within our shadow of our core belief systems and sustenance. Now, the thing you will be happy to know is that there can be a transformation in some shape or form linking to your accommodation, linking to situations of your domestic routine. Now, the Great Conjunction energy, this is something that a lot of people have been waiting for, and I'm quite perplexed. We'll see how this transit goes. Many do call this the billionaire's conjunction. There can be really beautiful benefits, especially connected to the nodes that we did have previously and the ones we're using right now to learn lessons and move forward. And with these eclipses and moving to this conjunction point, we're ending a cycle and beginning a new one. I do believe from memory they did say that this energy has not occurred in around 600 years. So it is quite large in the energy of these planets. Now, Saturn is first moving on the 17th from Capricorn into Aquarius. And then after we are having on the 19th, Jupiter entering Aquarius. Now, the conjunction point is occurring on the 21st, and this is a time point I wanted to mention. And yes, from the beginning of the month moving through, we do have conjunction points, but they are occurring in Capricorn. That can be a point of tension. There can be subjects to do with the media coming up with government and things to that degree. And our accountability. Large subjects to do with accountability will really be coming into highlight. But as we move into this conjunction point, hopefully with this transit from the beginning of the year moving forward and from prior, we have managed to get our life in some sense of order, moving it in a particular direction. Even if our ego is telling us, hey, we've been stuck at home, we haven't been able to do it. It really depends on where the energy lands for you within your house system. All of us have different lessons and blessings in different situations, but it's still deemed as, blessings from the stars, so to speak. Now, Capricorn had been hitting your 5th house placement. So if there had been dramas, and lots of responsibility relating to children, romance, and your physical luck, it's a creative energy, really. It is moving into your 6th house placement with this conjunction point, and it will be there for 20 years in the energy of air signs for you within Saturn. Jupiter will be there a little bit less than that. Regardless, this energy of the conjunction point can bring rewards. Now, it is linking to your 6th house placement. Now, this can be an energy where you can be deeply compassionate and understanding. I researched the 6th house the other day because of a transit that will be occurring in my zodiac sign. So with the 6th house placement, there can be a lot of things that goes on within this energy. Now, again, obligations surrounding, emotions and bringing people together, understanding everyone's point of view. Your energy of wanting to problem solve and fix things can be a fantastic attribute, but 6th house can also be, oh, there goes my phone. It can also be work environment, habits, hidden enemies. It also can be ourselves. It can be health as well, and it can at times, I do believe, relate to pets. Now, with that situation playing out here with the conjunction point, it is a lighter energy. So if you've been trying to deal with things to do with your health, you will find with this conjunction point, subjects can come up, but solutions can come up as well. Now, the day before, we did have Mercury entering into Capricorn, and we also have the Sun entering Capricorn during the winter solstice on the 21st of the conjunction. Now, this does link to your 5th house placement. So again, with Capricorn there in the 5th and the Sun being there, both your thoughts and your energies and your actions will be, really mulling over these situations with the 5th house. Romance, children, luck, your co-creative energy, maybe even again with the moon energy coming up. It can be linking to motherhood and things to that degree, and how your emotions feel, what your viewpoint is on it now. With the Sun entering Capricorn, this can be where we're trying to take accountability, or we're looking at things and we're taking the bull by the horns and we're taking accountability. And definitely during this conjunction point, there can be a transformation in the collective, and it doesn't have to automatically look perfect. And for some of us, it may not. Now, Venus in Sagittarius is going to be quincunxing Uranus and Taurus. What does this mean? Now, Taurus is very much connected to your 9th house of your belief systems. This can be your viewpoints, your spiritual values. as well as Venus being the things you like, you know, and Sagittarius is, again, grow. But again, it can be our spiritual belief systems, our emotions, our value systems, you know, wanting a connection to go the distance. We also do need to be careful due to the fact, which I think most of you are fine, but there can be a turning point. You know, in luxuries versus, you know, the things that make us feel, again, beauty, love, romance, marriages, contracts, partnerships with the Venus element versus the things we need financially. Now, we can see on the news potentially that there can be things to do with finances, agriculture, food. That can be sparsity of that or what we need to do to transform that. Now, there can be things coming up to do with your health that were old history things. Now, this can also be both with your 6th and your 8th house. You're wanting to transform your life, and you may have already been working on this quite a bit. This can also be with the way you're showing up in the world, you know, changing appearance, changing the way you're applying energy to situations. It's also a requirement within the 6th house placement to create those healthy boundaries. We can be very understanding and sympathetic towards people in this house. And they can be from point blank zero, many facets of life, but there is this point in that aspect with the 6th house, which I'm going to be experiencing mid next year, so I can't wait for that. Tell me how it goes, Virgo. Where these healthy boundaries between these energies does need to have healthy firm boundaries. Also connecting to both your spirituality, your finances, you know, healthy boundaries, trying to get things balanced. Again, it can be this push-pull, but I do feel very spiritually that your guides are guiding you, especially with the 8th house placement. If there was an emotion and there was fear-based frequency due to potentially the things you were doing, or after potentially somebody passed over, or maybe in your life you didn't have someone there to help you and to have that give and take, some of these subjects can be coming up in the last 2 weeks of the month. Now, we are going to be having a full moon in Cancer. Now, on the 30th, this full moon in Cancer, as I mentioned, is happening on the 30th. It is at 8 degrees. Now, moon energy can relate to mother. It can relate to our emotions, femininity, birthing, children. You had a lot of 5th house placement. So all of these things coming up in the interconnection to our feelings, because it's the 0 degree point. It's a pivotal point. It's very similar to the Fool card in the Tarot, which is there's infinite ways in which this can go. But being a full moon, it can be a purge. So, you know, interesting way to reign in the new year, especially with what has happened in the collective. It's only natural that we would feel emotional. Some of us, yes, would feel deeply happy. Some of us, there can be this bittersweet energy that we're reflecting on those of who we lost. Regardless of how it does fall for you, emotions, you know, stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll give you some tips and tricks to deal with it. But where it lands for you is your 11th house placement. So your hopes, dreams, aspirations, your friends, your clubs, you know, the things that you wanted to do, they're changing. And a brand new energy is coming through. So some of the things you did want, you may have realized through the transit with the 5th house placement and with the 8th house placement, as cycles are coming and going. There are endings and new beginnings at all times. And I know for me within the zodiac sign of Cancer, you know, it's that infinite birth and rebirth, these changes. So the cycle, it's okay to actually change your trajectory of what you want to do, where you want to be, how you want to be, and recreate that, and try not to be too scared moving into 2021, because there is beautiful aspects coming through. It's definitely a very different energy to the Capricorn, which for you, as I mentioned, it has been hitting that 5th house placement. So it's showed us this different axis of what those responsibilities are inside those things. And, you know, where it does take many energies, this can be with our marriages, contracts, partnerships, what those direct responsibilities are. And, you know, 5th house is fantastic. You know, the backbone to make sure that we can protect, create, you know, the dedication that goes into it, the blood, sweat and tears that we put into that beauty, and how we can step back and actually be proud of our achievements, plus the lessons through that process that we can hand down to other people. However, as we do move into the energy of Aquarius, this is a very unique location. And I happen to have the 6th house placement, in my chart. So in researching it, what I have found is sometimes we can actually meet or have people in our life that are of a different culture. We can be attracted to people that are from a different belief system. The 6th house placement can also show values that are very different, but they merge perfectly. Now, again, we do inside these energies, sometimes we can accidentally overcompensate, and it does require us accepting both sides. So there can be small lessons in that area, but overall, this can be, as we move into the energy of Aquarius, a very beautiful energy. Now, shared resources and bonding with a person, be it you're single or couple, there are areas that you can be looking at where in the past maybe you didn't have team orientated energy. This can be with the individual you're tuning into or with the current partner or a previous. So you have Aries in Chiron in the 8th house placement. So potentially you may have wounds there, but you'll definitely gain closure and healing there. And again, with that, due to that fact, you will be attracting energies that are willing to participate and work with you, and that these situations can be different, providing both energies are mutually working together. Subjects to do with children and in your mind wanting children may have been an energy. Also birthing and creation, wanting to be able to tap into your creative ideas, wanting to have that time to spend both at home with your creativity and definitely with the energy of your health and your career sector. You may have felt last month very private, and that's due to the fact that we had Scorpio placements. I'm looking at the tension point of the home, and I do feel it's easing up as the month progresses. Now, it can be moving from, getting everything in order, getting your emotions in order, maybe being in hermit mode for a while, and now becoming and getting ready to be quite social. And again, because the 6th house is in Aquarius, you can be actually meeting people through socialization. I do feel there can be some healing conversations, and for some of you that haven't been in communication or haven't been articulating it, I do feel some of these things are really moving forward. You can see reinstated stability by mid-month, and by the end of the year, moving into the eclipse, this can be more a social setting. Now, in all astrology, we do have the yin and yang. So there are some of you that are single, some of you that are coupled, some of you that are thinking about a lost love. We did have both Aries in Chiron retrograde. That is going stationary direct by the 15th. So again, our energy can be flowing back. Our passion, our happiness, our vivacious energy can be coming back. And also with the frequency of Mars retrograde that we did have for a very long stint. We were feeling very sluggish, very tired, pushing that wheelbarrow up a hill. So our emotions inside of our connections may have been inflamed. Now, because you have both 4th, 5th, and 6th house placement, as well as the 8th, really running through your chart this month, bringing it together can have been a very busy energy. You might have kept your cards very close to your chest, and I do feel a lot of your thoughts can be coming through in a very playful way by the time we head to mid-month. Now, for your chakra report, I do see that from a soul energy clearing your crown chakra. Now, all of this information is very much linked to astrology, the chakra systems, and how the planets are interrelated. Now, with the crown chakra, during the moon transits, guided meditation, drinking fluid, clearing the third eye chakra as well as the crown chakra, and really connecting with the guided meditation of those areas, the food groups, and everything they suggest from a holistic point of view. Also, because you are a Virgo and we do have Mercury in Gemini, it is both heart chakra, throat chakra, and higher heart chakra. So those three areas can be coming up. So anything to do with exercise, vitality, green smoothies to clear those frequencies, and doing things from a healthy point of view, because you do have the 6th house placement, is going to get you quite vital in energy. Another way you can balance it is due to the health energy and the 5th house placement, inner child wounds, doing inner child clearing, as well as co-creative energy. So if you have felt sluggish, if you haven't had that oomph, as Mars has gone direct, and we end up having Aries and Chiron going direct by mid-month, stationary that is, so it'll slowly, well, Mars is quite fast, so it will move. You'll start to gain vitality, but needing to replenish your fuel to get that old energy back after all these retrogrades we've gone through, looking after your solar plexus and sacral chakra. So this can be movement, it can be dancing, again, guided meditation, the yellow food groups, and if you're in any fair-based frequency, the sacral chakra. Now, you can Google those things, and you can also utilize chakra stones to balance. I've found that when I was clearing all the chakras at once, it can create a little bit of a purge. So to gently do it, and as much as we can use gemstones, sometimes gemstones can sort of overreact and agitate these situations. So, having breaks in between. Have a little bit of a break away from technology as well to meditate. And meditate does not mean I'm talking more give oneself the time to think about what's important to you and how you feel about circumstances, away from the news, away from people's perspectives and perceptions, and just really into your heart and sitting with your own thoughts and seeing and feeling what comes up, and that's really going to help clear that space. Now, I do see, again, balancing work and life, be it you're working from home, be it you're employed, however it's playing out, a lot of money can be moving into the 4th house placement. I'm also seeing a lot of money going towards the 5th house placement, home, Christmas, children, romance. Again, with Uranus and Taurus facing our shadow, could be the luxury foods and being cautious with it and finding healthy alternatives. However, it linked to, by mid-month, however, I do see benefits coming, and that can be a more grounded approach with finances and finances coming towards you. It also can be self-worth energy, upgrading, and more conducive people working together. Now, it won't happen right away. Some of us will activate and people will be less agitated. So the environment, some might say, it's because the year's winding down. Others, depending on where you are in the hemisphere, be it you are at work or you're not at work, however that energy is playing out for you or whatever you're working on, it doesn't have to be employment. It can be the goals, the achievements, the things you're driving to do. It could be learning, upskilling with Sagittarius, whatever that is. You will find, logically, rationally, marriages, contracts, partnerships will be more in balance by mid-month. Also from a financial aspect, because you do have 5th house, your creative endeavors and your creative ways of doing things can generate finances. Home, family, money, you name it, it's on. You have 4th house placement. So I do see it being very busy. Large subjects can come up because the energy is Sagittarius, siblings, spirituality, religious ceremonies, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, however it relates to you. These things in a subject matter can even be birthdays coming up where it can be quite social, having a pleasurable time with these energies, but at times there can also be points where you have tension. But I do feel by mid-month, these things are easing up. Now, at the beginning of the month, it does feel like bedlam. It also can feel like you don't have enough time and you're trying to get everything done and you're repeating tasks. The Cinderella effect, so to speak. It will balance out on the upside. Don't burn yourself out. 6th house placement can be where you physically burn yourself out, doing way too much. Share the load. The energy of Virgo, you guys are absolutely perfect. I mean, if you were to host a wedding or do, plan an event or do anything like that, even advertising, marketing, whatever you do, you guys will quality control that down to a T. So, and it is because you know how to make things happen. Other people maybe don't, and so sometimes you tend to be able to do it 10 times quicker if you were just to do it yourself. And that's all great and fancy, but it adds burdens to you. And that's where the 6th house placement is going to come in, where you will learn, due to that stress threshold, that, hey, Saturn, restrictions, logic, rationale, very similar to Virgo. Jupiter, hey, let's grow, let's keep this train going. So it's the yin and yang of that moving into 2021. Okay, how can I rein this in? A little bit over here, a little bit over there. Maybe it'll take me 20 minutes longer to show this person X, Y, and Z. Maybe it'll take me longer if I put my foot down and speak my truth, however it be. But in the long run, it will create more balance. And that's what this energy of both with your creativity, with your time management, with your skills and your ingenuity and the credit, because 6th house placement can be credit, can come towards you in the correct fashion. Dreams. Now, whenever I see dreams, Virgo, I always think of Pisces for some reason. Maybe it's because esoterically it's linked to the 12th house placement. Now, on this occasion, it is very much inside of your marriages, contracts, partnerships. And with your 5th house, I do believe as you move forward, you can bring all of these things into grand balance. Now, I'm really seeing by 2021, the things that you're manifesting in, they're actually naturally going to be attracted to you. You have actually learnt a lot in that 5th house placement, and you really are underestimating yourself. That is going to come in handy moving into 2021, the responsibility, the accountability of, taking those projects and turning them into gold. Your spirituality and the accountability of, how we feel about things and following through. Venus and Sagittarius, your home and your energy and how you want it to be. And, say you've got a shoebox for a house and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm, a bit nervous about what's happening in the collective. You then move that energy beyond that point and you say, well, okay, what steps with this knowledge and power from previous years can I, in this very new situation, alchemize it and push it into the future? Psychically, I do see different energies coming through as well due to the 12th house placement and your 8th house placement here. Some of those things can be connected to legacies. Wanting to leave a statement in the world, wanting to stand for something, wanting to leave a message in the world. This can even be inheritances, legacies. It can be, looking at your ancestors and wanting to make them proud. And again, I do feel their energy surrounding you. Now, as I mentioned, we are moving towards the full moon in Cancer. This is towards the end of the year. We're reaching this pivotal point in the year. Moon energy is very much Mother Earth, getting grounded, our emotions, our feminine attributes, our feelings. Water's running deep, and it's at 0 degrees. Now, some of us have had people passed over, and yes, with the 8th house, Aries and Chiron for you, this may have been a subject, it may have been a fear-based frequency. It also, at a very spiritual level, can mean that your guides are loving you and with you. Some of these things can be coming up in our minds and, we can sit there in admiration and turn to the unhealthy memories and the scary memories and the sad ones, but we're really guided to at this moment to look at the ones in which inspired us and to light a candle and think of those people and make them proud and move forward. Even if it wasn't us that did, we have observed it at a very large collective level. So for any of you out there that did experience this, or we have observed and we are about to light a candle for those people in loving memory, let's think of them and make them proud and move this world forward. Let's get out of this subject and into a very happy Christmas and a happy new year. Please keep safe. Thank you for subbing, thank you for following, and welcome newbies. All of you that leave comments on my video, likes, dislikes, however it be, I do appreciate you. We are a tribe here. Please, if you feel this content's relevant to you, subscribe, like, comment, share. If you do feel it is, click the bell and you will see more of this creative content, and I will be with you later for more updates. Lots of new content coming. Please keep safe, love and light. See you on the other side. Oh, and 2021, yes!